hi, how's it going? How you doing? How you VTOF to the AB? And today we are actually talking about a product review, which I haven't done as much, but I do know my lights, cameras, and action. And this is the Amaran 60DS, which you can't see yet, but let me pick this thing up because it is heavy. The Amaran 60DS, D as in daylight. So basically it is a product from Amaran Aperture. I don't know how you want to say it, but basically it's Aperture / Amaran. And I am a huge fan. Literally my entire setup is all Aperture. MT Pro, P60C, 120D, and then all the way up here, B7C. So I may know a little bit about lighting when it comes to the Amaran product, so I figured I could just wing it and see what happens. So we have the Amaran 60DS as well as the mini light dome. We were running into problems using just your typical light setup for your key and your fill when people were doing streams, because what it was doing, as you can see here, depending on the light sources that you have, it overexposes the face because the diffusion isn't a softbox. So even though you have a diffuser in front, what was happening was your entire face was white because sometimes you just make it a little bit too strong and there's not a whole lot you can do about it outside of lowering the exposure on your camera, but still, it's still a hotspot. You can notice it in film. So what I'm gonna do on this one here is switch to something that has a softbox so that it's not as harsh of a light on my subject here. So that way we don't run into the same problems that we were running into previously. Let's take a look at it, see what's going on.
Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and proceed with the unboxing. Yes, I do realize I'm wearing glasses on a light review, but I'm okay with this. So if we go ahead and take a look at the product itself. So it has some pretty nice packaging that basically doesn't show up very well. I realize that I'm doing gray on gray, but I don't really care at this point. So let's just go ahead and get it knocked out. Aperture and Amaran never cease to amaze me when it comes to boxes. Now, the reason why I got this, well, the first reason why I got it is A, it was $129 or something along those lines. It was very, very affordable, which usually doesn't happen when it comes to Aperture Amaran. Like the 120D, the P60C was like over 300. The Aperture 120D was like 600-700. Like, it's always been expensive with these kind of lights, but they're very useful because they have what's called a Sidus Link. Sidus Link, for those of you unaware, is the app that is used in order to control all your lights. What's so useful about it in this kind of setup, like if you're trying to get some cameras set up for like a game stream and stuff like that, is that all your lights can be controlled by your phone. So if you want a blue background or you want a red background, you can basically set that on the Sidus app. And then whenever you come back, you can always set it to that immediately and it will automatically change to those colors for your phone. Now, if you have somebody else that comes behind you and also streams or also uses those lights, they can change it. And then whenever you go back into the app, you can change it back to your colors. You don't have to remember what color it was. All you have to do is just click on it and it will automatically change to that color whenever you try to connect to it. So very, very useful app, especially when it comes to changing it for different backgrounds, different feels, different moods, reds and greens for Christmas, so on and so forth. It's a suitcase. Alrighty, so this is kind of small. So we have essentially the actual light itself, which is very, very small compared to like the 120D and everything like that. Oh, that's nice. Got a quick release trigger right here. Oh, there you go. Can't see with the glare there, but a nice little quick release trigger here. Got a nice fan on it, pretty nice size fan actually. And then right here, we essentially get the only light that you get here, which is basically a flashlight. So if you want to turn into a flashlight, that's exactly what they give you. You don't want to use this, by the way. So if you're putting this on a subject, you don't want that. If you're putting it on a product, you don't want that. This is very, very harsh, right? So this is gonna be very, very harsh light when you're trying to put it on a source because it's unfiltered. And it's gonna hit the source like, you know what I mean? Like right in the face. It's gonna be all over them and like this whole thing will be overexposed. So basically, you can put batteries in it and connect it and attach it to it. So basically, this right here attaches and now you can put 2 batteries in here, plug it into this part right here, and now you can use it on the go. So if it ended up having the 4 MPF series batteries, you can go ahead and put that in here and then you can have it on the go instead of just directly hooked up to something. Me personally, I'll just have it hooked up to something so I won't need this, but this is really, really nice touch. I appreciate that Aperture. I've never really known Aperture / Amaran to really miss when it comes to giving you everything that you need outside of a softbox. We're not gonna talk about that. So on the Sidus Link app, so you basically have all the lights right there. So as you can see there, I have the two above me, which is the B7C, and then I have the Amaran P60C, which is my key light, which is what's making it so harsh. So what we'll do here is go into my P60C, and I'm just gonna lower it a little bit. It's a little bit too intense. There we go. Yeah, now I don't look like I'm being stabbed with light. Next up is the mini dome that actually, you know, it's like, I think it was like maybe $60 or something along those lines. It was a part of a Black Friday deal. So I went ahead and grabbed that as well. That way I can put a nice softbox on it. Very akin to the 120D, but probably not as powerful. So the 120D, whenever you buy it, it actually came with like a nice little luggage that you can use to carry it with. This comes with the bag. So it's a nice little size bag here, little size bag that you can't actually see. So we'll just switch to it. So yeah, so Light Dome Mini SE. So this is the filter, the diffuser that you put on it. This works the exact same way as the 120D. So all you do is push these little parts back here. You just kind of push them back. And once you push these back, it'll lock in place. And that's pretty much it. Let me do that so you can see it. There we go. So you just do like that. And you keep going until it clicks. And now that it clicks, it's good. One thing I like about Aperture and Amaran's light domes is that they're very, very easy to set up. This part right here is one of the worst parts that you can actually do when it comes to getting everything set up for your light boxes, because this has always been a pain to bend wire so that it turns into a light dome. It's very, very, very difficult if it isn't already pre-installed like this one. So as you can see there, it's nice and pre-installed. So I didn't have to do much of anything. This is actually a pretty nice size compared to the, the light that goes in it. So this is that, and then the light is this. So it's very, very small compared to the actual size of the light dome, but still pretty sweet, all right? So it kind of gives you a pre-diffuser before you actually put on the main one, and it works out really well. That way the light at the end of the day isn't super harsh here, and then you just put this over it. Nice and straightforward. So it looks like that, and then on the back side there, as you can see on the back side, it's that. So yeah, came out pretty good. All right, so here's what the setup looked like beforehand. As you can see here, it's using these nice little diffusers. I'm not saying that these are bad, they just become a little harsh depending on the color of the subject. And essentially what I'm really trying to say is, like, depending on how much light your face can absorb dictates how strong these are for you. And sometimes these guys can be a little bit too strong, so you need something even softer. And even me, like for example, the 120D, if I didn't have that softbox on it, my whole face will be burnt off. So all you will see is white. It'll be the first time I'm white in my entire life. So essentially that's what you have to do in order to make it work properly. But this is just a little bit too harsh, so we're trying to go with something a little bit softer. Alrighty, and I can't see my face, but it looks like we're done here. Essentially, this is what it looks like once you get it all set up. So you have to go into the app to actually finish everything. Well, you don't necessarily have to. There's some buttons on the other side, but it's kind of hard to reach when you have it on this side here. When you're using it as a key, you darn near can never get to these lights that are over here on the side here. So, or I'm sorry, the buttons. So the buttons are right there, as you can see. There you go. So everything is actually over there on the other side, but you know, it is what it is. Another thing that I noticed, so with the AC adapter, the 120D had a metal wire that you can connect to your pole. That way, this right here isn't weighing heavy on this connector right here. So you basically just take the little metal part and put it on the actual, whatever you're putting it on, and it makes it so that the AC adapter isn't weighing down on this thin connector, which of course, granted, it is screwed in, so it's not like it's bad, but I had to kind of rig it around, that way that adapter isn't pulling. So please bear that in mind. The 120D had a little metal wire that you can just hang on something. This one doesn't, so just use the AC adapter cables in order to hang it. Otherwise, that heavy AC adapter brick is going to weigh down on that port, and it may actually make your camera malfunction over the years. But so far, so good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the fill. So for the fill, it's okay that you're just using this. You don't need much for the fill. And as you can see there, it looks really nice and even. Nothing too strong. You don't want it to go too far and overexpose the face. But overall, this looks really, really good as far as the setup goes. And plus, these lights are usually not super, super intensive when it comes to heat. So that's why I like them so much. So they don't really just like make you sweat. The only reason why I'm sweating here is because I had to go up 3 flights of stairs to do this.
Hey, baby boo. Hey, did you see what this light shadow box looks like? Doesn't it make me look so amazing? It doesn't make me look oily. It don't make me look like I got a bunch of acne. you know what? This is so much better than the last thing. He was right, and I can't even lie, you know? I do like my tangent. Obviously, you can see it in the background. I gotta get a little flavor in there. A little sprinkle. But this light, this daylight complements it really well. I would recommend it to anybody.
And that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like this video, go to like button. If you really like it, go to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care, all the best, and bye. I will see you next time. Peace.
Camera right here, babe.
I was looking at it. At the end.
At the screen.
I sure was.
All right.